Hey, everybody. I'm Steve. I'm here with Brian Sanchez. Thanks for being here, Brian.
I am always glad to be here, everybody, because it's Steve. You guys know Steve, right? In my world, he's known as the Goods. Steve?
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
So, Brian is a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club in Carson City. We have multiple locations to serve you, just so you know. So, we're going to talk about 3 exercises, maybe more, that people say are a waste of time. So, the first thing that I would say is that it's not a waste of time if you have a reason for, because you see people in the gym and you're in and people ask you stuff. Some people ask me stuff when we're in the gym because they see us. You see some people doing some really corny stuff in the gym. I mean, really whack-ball. I'm like, ugh, what are you doing? But I will say this. If you have a reason for what you're doing, it's probably not wrong, as long as you're not endangering yourself or someone else in the gym. Go ahead, knock yourself out, do your goofy stuff, as long as you're not endangering yourself, someone else, or breaking something in the gym. Go for it. I don't care how silly it looks. So, we're going to talk about some exercises. You mentioned shrugs. Are they a waste of time? I don't do them because my traps, for considering the rest of my body, are fairly developed. I don't need to work them. I get a little bit when I work my shoulders. What I need to work on is my legs and my arms. Everything else is pretty good for an old guy. So you were just telling me a story about a guy. People are so influenced by influencers online. And this is kind of funny. I see people on different social media platforms saying the dumbest things that absolutely don't work. Like, I saw a lady going, this, and she's got these little 2-pound dumbbells or 3-pound dumbbells in her hands, right? And she's doing this, telling people that that's going to tone your arms and work your chest. No, that's not going to tone your arms. It's not going to work your chest. Doing bicep curls is not going to tone your arms. Diet will tone your arms. So a lot of these influencers say nonsense, but people think they know what they're talking about because their arms look really good. Well, they must know what they're talking about. Not really. But we were talking before we turned this on. A guy came up and asked you about your shrugs. You do shrugs with dumbbells. So tell us what happened.
So it's a real nice guy. He was very sincere, and he just had a question. And this isn't common. This isn't the first time. I'm going to say in the last 3 weeks, I've had our chest bench press a waste of time. Is a single cable fly, shoulder fly a waste of time. Is a shrug overrated?
There's three,
There's
right?
three, yeah, three exercises. So here's the discussion. This guy, good dude, he works out with me from time to time, says, "Hey, I saw an influencer, and he says shrugs are overrated." And he goes, "Do you think they're overrated?" And my response is, "Yeah," but I added, "What are they being used for?" So, and the reason I say this as a coach and myself, first off, if you walk into a gym and you don't have a training plan and you're wandering that gym and you're just trying to figure out what to do next and you're just pulling exercises out and you decide that you're going to do your shoulders and you pull just traps, probably not your best choice, in my opinion. You might want to figure out what you're going to do to hit those delts a little bit better. And the reason I say that is when I was doing my shrugs, it was during my shoulder routine, and I combine it with some other exercises. I do a shoulder routine, and I combine arms. This isn't traditional. So for those of you that want to make the comments, I don't do things the way a lot of people do sometimes. I combine my shoulders and the arms for the ease of exercising because I think it's necessary for me to not lift my arms by themselves because I'm not going on stage. I don't think I get a calorie burn out of it. I think for me, it's a waste. So I incorporate arms into other workouts. So they end up in my shoulder day. In my shoulder day, I'm working my deltoids, front, middle, rear, my traps, and I add arm workouts in there, curls and tricep extensions and things that are basically going to be up over my head sometimes, and try to encompass everything. Uh, my goal is calorie burn. So these are done in mini sets. I don't just do shrugs and then go to a bicep curl and then go to a tricep press, because to me, that's a waste of my time. Not saying the exercise is bad, but I want to get some value out of my workout. So it's more than just picking something up and putting it down. I can do that all day at the masonry. You know what I'm saying? So what I explained in that situation is it really depends on how the exercise is applied to your workout. If you have a plan, and I like kind of what Steve said, everybody, if you have a plan and that works for you, then it's a good workout. Now, is there different ways to enhance that? Of course, there are different ways to enhance it. I love to add to my shoulder workouts heavy dumbbell, um, shrugs where I'm in a suitcase hold. I don't put them in front of me and have my shoulders roll forward. I don't do them behind my back and have them, my shoulders roll back. I do them in a suitcase hold on my side and I go straight up and down. Yes, there's going to be plenty of critiques on that. But it's the way I incorporate it into my workout. So I get what's effective for me in that workout. I add with that, I have military presses, and I'll decide some days I'll use the regular barbells or I'll use heavy dumbbells. I don't incorporate a bunch of dumbbell flies into it if I'm pressing because my delts are already done. So I'm not doing a bunch of dumbbell flies after that. If I don't incorporate those presses, well, then yeah, I'm going to go into some fly work, or maybe even the other one I heard, single cable flies, which are another one I read was single cable flies are a waste of time. Well, why? Well, because you're already working them out. The reason they said it was because you were already working that portion of your deltoids when you were doing your shoulder presses. So I guess what I'm trying to say is be careful of what you're being told or hearing or reading in the internet. These exercises aren't wrong. It's how you're incorporating them into your workout. If I'm going for total shoulders, I got to worry about what's behind me, what's in the middle of me, and what's in front of me. And so I'm going to incorporate different exercises to try to get all those zones. And I'm going to create mini sets in these exercises so that I'm also getting a caloric burn because I'm a heavy guy and I eat a lot. I have to burn calories. I can't come in and just do a set of curls and call it good. Hopefully that answers what we were talking about with that, Steve. And the same applies to chest work. When people want to say, why do you guys bench press? Isn't bench press kind of unnecessary? The answer to that will be, yeah, probably. Any one of these exercises by themselves, they may be unnecessary, but it's up to the individual. My chest day, I incorporate 3 phases, inclines, declines, and flats in my movements so I can encompass the entirety of the chest. A part of that is the flat bench press. And because I love powerlifting or used to powerlift, I love the bench press because it's fun for me. So I'm going to do it once a week. Is it a waste of my time? Absolutely not. I love it. I enjoy it. It's peace of mind. Shrugs, are they wasting my time? Absolutely not. I love them. I enjoy it. Gives me peace of mind. So you really got to hear kind of what Steve was saying. Is it good for you? Does it work for you? Steve.
What kind of workout are you doing too? That matters. Are you doing a 3-day full body workout? If you're doing a 3-day full body workout, you're probably not going to hit the little isolation exercises like shrugs. And you're
Right.
also, if you're doing a full body workout, you're working your whole body in one workout. That means you're not going to do decline flies for your chest, incline flies, flat bench flies, and incline press. You're not going to use a pec deck. You're not going to do pullovers and, incline chest press. you're not going to do all those exercises. Are those all good exercises? Yes. Are any
Yeah.
of them a waste of time? No. But you're not going to do them all if you're doing a full body workout, because you're going to make your chest lopsided. You run out of time. And now what are you going to do for your legs? Are you going to do that much on your legs? You're going to run out of energy. You're going to run out of everything. So you're going to be more selective if you're doing a full body workout. If you're doing a bro split, that's different. If you're working out 6 days a week and you're working one body part, you're working a body part once a week, yes, you're going to do that for your chest. You're going to hit it from 3 different angles, 3 different ways. And you're going to do the same for your legs. But your chest workout is going to be on Monday. Your quads and maybe your hamstrings are going to be on Tuesday. Your arms are going to be on Wednesday. Your calves are going to be on Thursday. Your shoulders and back are going to be on Friday. So you're working less muscles on a bro split where you're working a body part once a week. Yeah, you're going to blast it because you're going to give it 6 days rest. I don't do that. That's kind of fading away. But what are you doing? What is your split? And if you're going to do a full body workout, you're probably not going to do shoulder shrugs, are you?
No, absolutely not. It's going to be something that has more complexity to it, or complexity. When you're looking at total body workouts, for me, the things I'm thinking about is, some variation of good solid squats has got to be in there, deadlifts maybe even in there, uh, bench press flat maybe be in there, exercises. And I'm thinking weightlifting only. And I'm not talking about the thousands of other exercises, because I write total body workouts for a lot of my clients that don't have all these lifting components. I'm just using these examples. But I think in total body workouts, you're looking for complex movements where you're using multiple muscles at the same time. And that's really how you're smashing that body, and they're fantastic. Now, if I am like our superstar Dave, who's one of our physique experts, if you will, who competes, he's a guy that works with us here. Would he be doing full body workouts? No. I bet you I could ask him, is a full body workout a waste of time? Well, he can't do that to compete. For him to get ready for competition, he has to single out muscles, and he has to do all these intense workouts to define them and curve them and carve them. He's got to be a Picasso, in a sense, to his own body. So just be careful what you're hearing out there, everybody.
Yeah, everything has to be taken in context. So when someone says this lift is a waste of time, now there's some things I don't do because I think that it's a bad motion, um, like you said, shrugs, straight up and straight down. That's how I do them. But upright rows, I don't do those because that that puts stress on your shoulders. I don't do them. Now, if I did do them, I would do them with dumbbells in a more natural movement. But you have to take this stuff in context. What is your split workout? First, are you doing a 4-day split? I do a 5-day split. So my body parts are split up into basically 2 different workouts, and I do those in 5 days. So if you're doing, it's different than a full body workout, but the exercises are going to be different depending on your split. So this stuff has to be taken into context. If you're saying, oh, that's a waste of time, you need to know all the factors that we're talking about before you can say if that's a waste of time. If you're doing a full body workout, then shrugs might be a waste of time because you're using time isolating an area that shouldn't be isolated in a full body workout, right?
Well, and think about that. In a full body workout, if you're working, let's just say your shoulders is a part of that, are there other exercises that you can do instead of shrugs that will incorporate more of the shoulder working together? The answer to that is yes. And that's why it's probably ineffective in that scenario. And so you really have to understand it. I had a client the other day asking about the hip raise machine because I hadn't used it with her. And she says, "Well, how come we never used that one?" And I said, "Well, do you want to try it?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, let's put it into our next workout." So we went and tried it and she used it. She goes, "Wow, that's interesting." She goes, "But don't we do that in this exercise? And don't we do that with this?" I go, "Exactly." I said, "It's incorporated. Your hip hinge movements with me are incorporated into many of your other exercises. And because you deadlift quite frequently, it's in that motion too." And I said, "What are you trying to create by using a hip raise machine?" And so we had a full conversation on that so that she truly appreciated why, okay, it's there and we could use it if we want to. But if we're working it in another area, why would we go to use a machine when we're working in another area and doing the same movements just in a different fashion? And so I think it's important. Know what you're hitting and why. Know the purpose of that exercise. And I can't say it enough for everybody. Make sure you have a plan every time you go to the gym. And when these exercises tend to become unnecessary is when you wander the gym and you're looking and trying to figure out what to do from exercise to exercise. That's when you're going to spend a lot of time spinning and you're going to just do what's available to you. And you may not get a quality workout. And some of those moves on that day may be ineffective. So decide what you want. With that said, I'm going to continue to do shrugs.
Well, you don't do full body workout. And I don't either, because by the time I get to the end of it, I'm training at a pretty good intensity level. I'm My intensity is not good enough for the last exercises I do. And so I don't do a full body workout, but also if you are doing a full body workout, a lot of these exercises or lifts are repetitive. So if they're repetitive, like you were talking about with one of your clients, if it's repetitive, yes, then it would be a waste of time. But if you're only working that one body part in a day, like a bro split, all your exercises are going to be repetitive. That's the point of it. You're going to do
Correct.
repetitive exercises from different angles on a body part, and you're going to give that body part 6 days to rest. It's one strategy that, well, bodybuilders use.
Correct. And just everybody again, pay attention to your body. If an influencer says this may or may not be good for you, do your own research. They could be very correct in what they're saying and for the purpose or the intent or the context that they're saying it in, but it doesn't apply to all workouts that are out there. So just take care of yourself. And please, like my buddy did, ask the questions. Because when I explained my approach, he's like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But if I was just doing them by themselves, waste of time.
Yeah. And, I like YouTube because you can, do searches on YouTube and get a lot of different opinions from influencers and then find out what works for you. That's what you do. So, Brian, thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing your input about your clients and the things, the questions and all that. So, we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody. Steve, don't go changing, bro.